Goeienaand en welkom by die nuus om 7:55.
Good evening and welcome to the nose on 7, 5 and 5.
Die hoofdtrekke van vanaand se nuus is
The principal tracks for tonight's nose is
Kim Kardashian verwag haar 6de kind genaamd Lucas.
Kim Kardashian weighed her 6th child to look at us.
Die volgende vereiste is belangrik in die parlement. EFF sal moet voorshow sodra hulle sitplekke inneem.
To iron out the situation, the EFF has to pay attention for sure.
En dan laaste op die hooftrekke vir die nuus is dat Eskom los ons in die donker.
And then lasting impressions on the principal tracks is that Eskom is taking our cars and leaving us with donkeys.
Ek is Patricia Nkwekwe.
And I am Mariam Miriam, aka Eminem.
Tot ziens en lekker aan.
To sons and lekker in and 2 to
3. There's never a dull moment with this queen. Leandra Booysens is blessing your screens today, people. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show with us. Hello and welcome to A Walk with Mel, people. We're out here with Leandra Booysens. She's in the building and it's so cool to have you on the show. I mean, I've met you on Arendsvlei, which is, we've had an amazing journey on there so far. But for the people that don't know, give us a bit of introduction of who you are, where you're from.
Hello everybody, Walk with Mel. Thank you so much. Firstly, Mel, thank you so much for having me on the show. No, that's very important. That's very important. I am humbled by it.
I see it.
Because you're such an extraordinary person.
I try.
Hey. But so yes, I'm Leandra Booysens. I won't give my age away, but I'm fairly old. Because woman never discloses her age.
No, we don't.
But I'm originally from Johannesburg. I relocated to the mother town, the mother city.
You can say
city.
mother town as well.
Mother town, Cape Town.
Hey,
yes. I relocated to the mother city in August last year for a project that we worked on, which is Arendsvlei.
Amazing.
For those of you who don't watch Arendsvlei, where have you been?
We could have sang that video. I don't know because people don't believe in my voice.
Yes, but I was scared. I didn't want to overstep
I
my,
understand.
So yes, but
don't
anyway,
want to show off, yeah.
I'm an actress by profession, a performer, and a creator. That's
that basically sums it up.
That
love
sums it all up.
Arendsvlei happened, but like looking back at your journey, you were discovered at a very young age. When your teacher, I think that your career was great when you were young, like in primary school. Your teacher discovered you or asked you to be part of a gospel seed that you guys did. Tell us about that and how that happened.
Okay, cool. So, firstly, I grew up in the church.
Okay.
So, choirs and things like that is part of the DNA.
Yes.
The church raises you. So,
Same.
I was used to singing in church and stuff, but I wasn't part of the choir. But then at school, my parents would my parents encouraged me to do as many things as possible.
Wow.
That's why I'm so voorbarig
I saw
today.
it, yeah.
Because it's my parents'
They
fault.
pushed you.
Yeah.
Too far.
Yeah. Too far. So I joined the choir at school, and then my grade 3 teacher was like, "Wow, you have an amazing voice."
Wow.
And then she spoke to my parents. She called them in, and she's like, "Listen, man, is this group Klanke Kalante?"
Hallo, ek begin jy moet dit sê.
Klanke
Kalante.
Ja. Met oom Sakkie.
Oom Sakkel, sy is in die gebou. Lekker man.
Yeah. So I joined the group, and I was the only person of color.
And the youngest.
But that's the story of my life, because when I started primary school, the school that my parents put me in, I was like one of 2 people of color, one of 3 people of color. So the school was very small, and I was in the same school since grade 0 to matric. But let's go back to the
that's hectic.
Yeah. So let's go back to the
gospel CD.
Yes. So I was part of this group, and I was the only person of color, and I was the youngest.
Sure.
But it was an awesome experience. So we would rehearse on the weekends. Saturdays we would go to their place of residence, and that's where we would practice and stuff like that. And that was really awesome, and I met these awesome people, and so I got into, I think that was my first experience in the arts.
Oh, okay.
And then eventually the leaders came and they were like, okay guys, so we're going to record a CD and a videotape.
Wow.
Can you?
So
I'm giving away my age.
VHS.
I'm giving away. Yes, I'm giving away my age.
Wow. That is level. So you're part of the music video, basically.
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
That is
so
dope. And that was your introduction to performing arts.
That was my introduction.
But what kind of kid were you when you were growing up? Were you a nerd? Were you the funny girl? Who were you?
I was the class clown.
I can see it.
Always.
I actually wanted to call it out, but I wanted you to say it.
Always.
Really?
Always. I've been the class clown, and I'm an extrovert. I'm not an introverted extrovert. I'm an extrovert. Like I get to a place and
You'll know, Leah's
I
in
go
the building.
buck. I go buck.
Buck is? Just give us some Jozi slang.
Okay, I go wild.
Okay, there we go. I go back. Let's go into your studies. You then went into, you did a BA degree, and then linguistics is the major. I just want to say that correctly. Linguistics. I said
there we go.
correct.
No, you did. You got it right, girl.
No. Tell us, why did you go into that though? Like, how did that happen for you?
So, funny story. When I applied at university, which was after my year of matriculating, which was thinking back now, it was a long time ago. And I wanted to do BA marketing.
Okay.
And there wasn't space. And so they were like, look, there's no space, but we've got this extended degree. It's a BA Humanities degree, and there's space for you there. And from there, because it's BA Humanities and it's quite broad, you can venture into in your second year. So I was like, okay, no, cool, let's do that.
Wow.
But then I fell in love with the subjects. So my favorite subject since first year was applied linguistics.
Sure.
And it skyrocketed from there.
A beautiful thing. Obviously introduced you, you are a writer.
Yes.
You always write down everything, and you are obviously creative. You do love writing. Where do you find your inspiration when it comes to writing?
I find my inspiration in life, just generally in life, by living, and it's because there's so much that we can learn from people. There's one thing that my coach actually taught me, and he was like, the most important thing, especially as a performer or as a creative, is to pick up on human behavior, and that's where I get my inspiration from. Sure. I get my inspiration from the most
sometimes the randomest thing also, it's not even
air quotes insignificant situations.
Wow.
And yeah, so even so I'm a very I'm a cognitive person. I'm always thinking. Everybody's always thinking.
But you like
but I always take it a step further,
I see that.
Yeah. So, but I'm very much in tune with what am I feeling? What does another person feel? Sure. What does the situation mean? So
it's more than just that, yeah.
Yes, and that's and that's the reason why I also journal, because all the thoughts boggled up in my head. I lose
you
my
have
mind.
to let it out. Then obviously acting happened. You went into acting full time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. How did that happen from writing into acting? How did that happen for you? And why that decision?
Okay, so I did drama as an extramural activity at school, and that was when it really just skyrocketed for me. That was in high school, but let's fast forward a few years. In the year 2010, our church started our youth group started this drama department, and I got involved in that. And I was like, okay, no, cool, I've been doing this throughout high school. This is where I want to be. This is cool. And then we had a coach from the United States of America, so she worked a lot with Tyler Perry, and so I was under her leadership, and I learned so much from her. Her name is Sharon Shields, and she was absolutely amazing. So I learned so much from her, and we were also encouraged to write our own stuff. stuff like that. So that's where the love really just like, I was like, okay, that's when I started to define. Because, you know, sometimes you have a passion, but you cannot define it.
Yes,
I finally defined it through that. And I was like, you know, this is what I want to do. Even though I didn't immediately, because after university, I worked immediately. So
you almost want to do the right thing, man.
Yes.
You know,
yes,
if I have to say it like
yes.
that, you studied, so you want to go into the direction that you studied for.
Yes. So I was an editor at my previous place of employment, and then I became senior editor and stuff. So I did a lot of, so that's where my writing skills were honed and my creativity as a writer. But I still used to do the acting thing and the stage, the theatre productions on the side and stuff like that. So I constantly kept that muscle. Beautiful. I was constantly working that muscle.
Yes,
I'm really grateful for that as well.
That is so cool.
And that's when it really just kicked off.
It's so cool because I'm listening to you in a random question that I was thinking of, and like, how do you stay so motivated? Because you were editing and you became a senior editor. Like you grew very quickly in a short period of time, and you still did the acting thing. How do you stay motivated to do it every single day, man? Like, that time, how did you stay motivated?
Yeah, so it's really difficult, especially if you are in an environment that, and we're not holding back any punches, especially if you are in an environment that doesn't facilitate your growth.
I know exactly what you're
talking about. And so you feel stuck, and it's difficult to keep that motivation going.
Yes.
But I found inspiration, like I said to you, in other people. I found inspiration in situations, and I'm a huge optimist. I don't think I have a single hair of pessimism. Is that a word?
Yeah, we create.
I'm not a pessimistic
people.
Yeah, hey.
Stop it.
So so I basically just I remained positive. I threw myself into other things that kept me motivated, people that kept me motivated. And so I think that's what kept me going. And that's what, like, I just kept working, I just kept doing. And also I love doing things for other people, you know what I'm saying? So I was always like just making sure that like with my church, for instance, just pouring myself into that, and that's what really, really kept me going. Like, even when I just felt like this is not working out, I'm not feeling this.
You kept on doing it. Love it, people. We're going to take a quick break. We're out here with Leandra Booysens. We're going to speak all things Arendsvlei after the break. Don't go away. It's a walk with Mel. Yay. And we are back. It's a walk with Mel. We're out here with Leandra Booysens, all the way from Jozi in the mother city today. Hey. And I mean, before the break, if you guys just joined us, we spoke to her about her journey as an actress and how, obviously, how you did the theatre productions with the church. And I mean, I want to go into that a bit more before we move on to the next questions about Arendsvlei and everything, which I mean, we can go into more in detail. But like, what did you do? Did you guys do different productions every year? And were you involved only on the acting side of things? Just give us a bit of an idea about that.
Yes, so we did different productions every year. So we have this thing called Sold Out Conference, and it happens on the weekend of Youth Month.
Okay.
So it's normally around the 16th of June every year. And our first one was in 2010. So we wrote this. So we have themes every year, and we write a theatre production according to this theme. And it's normally very, it's either politically driven or, but it's very relevant for the time.
That's dope.
So yes, so I would be involved in the writing process, so producing and directing.
Are you serious? Yeah. And I thank you. #multi-talented and the acting part.
And the acting part. And so, like I mentioned to you, we had Sharon Shields that helped us out in the beginning, and so she guided us, and that's really when I learned on the job.
And how many years did you do this for?
So I've been doing it since 2010, and last year was my last production, so I've been doing it for 8 years.
This is amazing.
And every year we would have a production, and so Sold Out Conference, we'd have people from across South Africa, actually youth from across South Africa, from different ministries, Cape Town, Durban, the Northwest.
That is amazing, eh?
And the place would be packed. It's a 3,000 seater, so we would perform for 3,000 young people. But it's so amazing to see for me it was I'm getting carried away.
No,
now.
give it to me. I want to know.
That passion. But the reason why I did it was it wasn't obviously for money.
Yeah.
Because this was part of the church, and it was a passion, and it was more like a hobby that I did. And that taught me, I think that was very important. It was a critical time for me in developing me as a performer and as a creator, is because you don't get remunerated for it in the form of money.
Really love it.
Exactly. And so that's I think that's also what keeps me motivated in every other area of my life.
Sure.
And it's because if something is your passion,
nothing can stop you, babes.
Nothing can stop you.
Nothing
Even
can stop
at
you.
the worst of times.
You will still keep going.
You will still keep
It
going.
gives you that feeling inside.
Exactly.
That no one can...
And just the response from people where they were like, yo, that really touched me, that moved me so much. My life was changed. And that's the important thing. So that's when I realized that, what you're doing needs to impact somebody else in a positive way.
And that's the thing, it's so important to do it for the right reasons. I always say this. You need to do whatever you do, whether it's taking a picture, whether it's, you're a photographer, you're a DJ, you're an actress, it must be for the right reasons, because then is a time when you will change someone's life.
Of course.
So it's important to understand, and I always say this, know who you are. If you don't know who you are, figure that out before you just, go out there and do things that is 100%. Not for you, let's look Arendsvlei. You made the big move to Cape Town. Girl, love it. Let's talk about that. Were you afraid coming down? Was it just a spontaneous move coming down, and then we can go into the character details, but were you afraid? Do you think it's important for actors to take these kind of risks? You can share.
It was a spontaneous move because straight after I did an actors course in the beginning of 2018
I almost said
year.
17, but it's 18. Okay.
2018.
Okay.
So I did an actors course, an advanced actors course in the beginning of 2018, and after my course I joined an agency.
Okay.
So it was so surreal for me because I was stuck in this job. I loved what I do, but I wasn't in love with the environment.
Yes.
And I knew for a fact that this is toxic. It's destroying my passion. I need to get out. So I was definitely planning on leaving. I was looking for something else. So I joined the agency, and literally maybe 2 to 3 weeks in joining the agency, I get this brief for Arendsvlei, for a character.
Wow.
It's like, okay, no, cool. Let me chance it. Gotta take chances.
You never know.
Gotta take risks.
Take it, eh?
So I was like, okay, cool. Let's do this. So my agent was like, well, it's in Cape Town, so which means that you would have to relocate should you get the role. It's like, okay, cool. She's like, okay, I need a self-tape.
Yeah.
Like, okay, sure, we can do this.
Yes,
let's do this.
Come on.
So I did the self-tape, sent it to her, and then there was silence for about 2 weeks after that. And I was like, okay, you know what?
It's one of those
I was like, it doesn't matter. There'll always be something else.
There's a reason for this, yeah.
And I remember I was at my workplace. And I was frustrated that day. I was so frustrated, and I prayed. I'm like, Lord, I cannot be in this place any longer. Girl,
no way.
My agent calls that same time. I will never forget it. She calls me. It was late afternoon. It was just before I knocked off. And then she's like, hey, listen. So your self-tape, Arendsvlei. So they're very impressed. And but they're gonna start shooting as in next week. Will you be able to move to Cape Town?
Sure, life decisions. You just ask God.
I'm like, OM genius. Hey,
what do we do?
But I was like, look,
this is the answer.
I've been praying. This is it. And for me, I don't just jump at something. I always test it out in prayer and that kind of thing. So I'm very in tune spiritually and stuff like that. So I was like, this feels right.
Yeah.
I know it. There's no doubt within me. And my cousin lives in Cape Town. I'm like, you know what? Okay, let me call her. I call her. She's like, Lee, don't worry. I love for you to come down, to come and stay with me. I put in my resignation. I'm like, peace.
I'm out.
Deuces. I'm out.
Amazing though.
Yeah, like I was like drops mic. that was my exit.
Frustration too.
That was my exit. That was
Literally.
my exit. I was like drops mic out.
Out. There you have it. Yeah, let's talk about the
Almost.
character, Melanie.
Wow.
Amazing. Tell us about her.
Melanie is so close to me. She is one of those characters that I just like threw myself into because there's so many correlations to my actual life. So in high school, I thought I was popular. I really did. I was like, you know what? Teachers like me. Students like me.
I'm the one.
I am head girl.
Hey!
I'm like, yeah.
This is real life, people. I just want to say that.
I'm like, I'm head girl.
I am
There
head
is
girl.
no doubt.
Everyone voted for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I go up confidently. I give my speech. I do my thing.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
like, you know,
Yeah,
yes,
no,
I've
it's
got
done.
this.
Yes, it's my
and the
turn.
people are like cheering for me. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
The announcement comes, and I'm not even prefect. Inserts cricket soundtrack. Yo. I was, needless to say, it's funny now,
Didn't
but
you
I
make
was
anything?
shattered. I was
Didn't
shattered.
even make prefect.
No.
Leo, sorry, that's blind. I was it.
Yeah.
though.
Now, obviously, wow.
I just thought I'd say that. But that's why I can't understand because you've got the potential. I see you. I mean,
And my school was really small. We were a
how
total
many-
of like 42 matriculants. A total.
so they chose.
And I mean, you don't have much.
Ow.
You don't have.
Other
you don't have
options.
much to.
Wow. But you know,
For
God
those,
knew.
for those who I was in the trick with that's watching, you all deserve to be prefects. For those of you who
So you didn't even become
you
a
deserve,
prefect.
but I still feel wrong.
Maybe I feel that you were playing too, like you were being lagged by
But-
teachers and.
But I just want to say, for those, if you're watching and you did me a dirty like Wendy, watch Arendsvlei.
What?
Hey, if you did me a dirty, what the devil meant for harm, God used it for my character development.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a reason God knew. Let's not make a prefect because she can use it for Melanie. And that same thing happened to Melanie.
And so I had that, all those raw emotions had to come
You could
back
deal
out,
with
and
it,
I
actually.
could deal with it. I could deal with it. There wasn't
so
much
happy
to
for
do
you.
in
Solutions.
getting myself
You
to
were
there.
just being yourself, basically.
Everything happens for a reason. I'm literally
just
just
replaying
being myself.
yourself.
Yeah,
Wow.
because I was so deserving of it.
It is. It's your turn.
But you know what?
And also, it could touch someone else that's watching that's maybe not prefect.
Of course. Of
they,
course.
They can find motivation through your experience. You know?
Yes.
It's not about being the prefect. It's
No.
great because but if you don't make it, doesn't mean
It's
you don't
great,
make it.
'cause
Yeah, but
I mean, I was there,
but
so.
it doesn't mean that you don't make it. And then tell us more about Arendsvlei, the program, and what it's like, or what it was like for you to do it.
Yes, so Arendsvlei was an absolute jewel for me. Honestly, I met the most amazing people. You know, I believe that I was that God puts you in places, positions, and He lets you meet
True
good people.
story.
And I feel like it was my film debut.
Wow.
Even though a few years, when I was young, I think grade 5, I did like a educational program on some SABC thing with Solar 7 for the Phonics brand. But this was my television debut.
I know what you mean, yeah.
And so I'm so grateful that I worked with the best directors.
Yeah.
I worked with the best cast.
I'm the whole course. Jokes, but I mean, yeah.
I worked
it's
with
so
the
amazing
best
to
cast.
watch everyone else as well doing
Exactly,
their
and
thing,
to
yeah.
just learn from people
Yes.
a bunch of amazing.
Amazing.
Oh my god! Oh my, the talent.
The talent is real. The talent is real, and I feel that we're on an international level. Actually,
Of course,
yeah.
most definitely,
I
no
actually
doubt
want to
about
speak
it.
to you about that as well as artists. What do you think? What challenges do we face as artists in general in South Africa? Because I mean, you've lived in two of the biggest cities so far.
Yeah.
What do you think are the challenges we face, and what solutions can we look at?
Okay, so if we're gonna get political about it, representation is a problem in South Africa. And I feel because we are such a diverse nation that there will always be an issue when it comes to representation. I'm talking across color lines.
Sure.
And so for me, if I'm going to be honest with you and with your viewers, representation is a problem. But also just the treatment of performers. Like I follow the South African Guild of Actors
Yes.
very, very strongly, and there was a recent bill that they begging President Cyril Ramaphosa to sign.
I saw,
just so that artists don't have to die poor.
Sure.
And I feel like that's a major problem. I feel like...
How's that even okay?
How is that okay? Like the treatment of artists and just like pay, you know, those kind of things, and just giving there's hardly any benefits in comparison to like international actors when you look at South African. I mean, Bollywood made it big because I feel like they took a stand for their craft and for their actors. Nollywood, Nigerian movies are making it big because I feel like same principle applies. And then there's Hollywood, obviously.
Yeah.
And then we come to South Africa, which I feel has the talent
potential
in
is
South
amazing.
Africa
It's
is
real.
absolutely,
It's real out here.
It's like world class.
I know.
But I feel like it's because South African performers have been taken advantage of, and people are just okay with it. It's been okay for too long.
Wow.
But we need to stand together as performers, and we need to be like, listen, this is not okay, because we have a voice. I mean, we are the voice for the people. In the stories that we tell, other people. Arendsvlei is a typical example of that. You know, people are like, this is so real. We have a voice for the people, but we're not using that voice for our own peers. So we're not using that voice for ourselves.
I see you.
So we become frauds. So I feel like we, as artists, as performers, we need to come together and we need to voice our opinions, and we need to stand with organizations like Saga and those kind of organizations.
Kind of be the change that you want to see.
Exactly.
Man. Then the last few questions to wrap it up. I mean, I'm having so much fun with you because I'm learning so much, even like talking to you. Even if I know you, I feel like I'm getting to know you again. I know that you're a content creator as well. Give us that details and just give us a bit of an idea of what your content is about, and then social media, where can people catch you?
Okay, so I recently started a YouTube channel, which is the ampersand. So for those of you who don't know what an ampersand is, because a lot of people were like, what is that? So the ampersand is the symbol for the word and, you know, that thingy. And my name has an and in it. Leandra. So that's what I'm currently working on, but I'm also working on other projects. For instance, there's a women's conference coming up in August. I've already submitted the script for that. Beautiful. So we're doing a production for that in August.
I feel like you wanted to high five, but you weren't sure.
Yeah. But I was like,
I'm
you
not
know,
sure I'm going to give it an
but
answer.
you,
telepathic,
kindred spirits.
I try it. And then other social media platforms where can they catch you if they want to follow you?
So the ampersand on YouTube, Leandra Booysens. My Twitter handle is at uppercase LEA, uppercase BOOYSENS, so Lee Booysens. And then my Instagram handle is at all lowercase LEA _ BEE00.
Amazing. And then last one.
And then if you want on LinkedIn professionally, Leandra Booysens.
You better know. Advice to the people watching, just real quick. Any advice for the young ones?
Okay, so for those of you who are watching, young or old, you are never too young, you are never too old to go after your dreams. And don't let anybody tell you any different, because you know the potential that you have. But also, hard work pays off. Don't just want it to come to you. You know, you have to go out and you have to make it happen and take that leap of faith. Because like B, you never know where you land up.
And she's just flying. She's flying.
Arendsvlei.
Liefde en leed means it's a walk with Mel. Thank you so much, Leah, for being an amazing human being.
Like, no, thanks to you, Mel, and for trusting me. Oh my gosh. I mean, you are Melissa.
Hey, now you live on it.
Come on now.
There you have it, people. It's a walk with Mel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please follow this girl. Make sure you follow her journey. It's going to be a beautiful one. Yeah, buddy.